Hey everyone, back tuning into today's video. Going to have a look at the weather, starting with today, because we've got this storm bearing down on us. I'm sure you've heard about it, Storm Barney. That's heading in right now as we speak. It's going to give a bit of a blow down to the south, of course, this afternoon and this evening, with possibly gusts of wind going up to 60, 70 or 80 miles an hour down across the far south and southwest. We're also going to have a look at the cold snap that's coming up at the end of the week, and then have a look at CFSV2 for the next month as well. So a lot going on, but before I get on with that, just to say about the ads at Gazzovids, there's links to articles on all pages at Gazzovids. Have a browse through widgets and click through the links if there's any articles that you're interested in. Thanks so much for doing that. This video ads on most of the pages, they open up in the content when you watch them. They'll close back up again. It's all helping to pay for the website. And the shop is open, so you've got any Christmas shopping to do at Amazon between now and Christmas. Just click the button that says Christmas Shop. Then when you get to Christmas Shop, you've either got a search widget where you can look for whatever item you want to buy. Alternatively, you can just click through the Amazon banners. That's perhaps a little bit more easy, actually. But click through the Amazon banners. Just go direct to Amazon and buy whatever you want when you get to Amazon. The key to it all is because you're clicking from Gazzovids to Amazon. We get a revenue fee on the things that you are purchasing. So thanks very much for getting involved. And thanks for doing that. There's going to be a Christmas update on the Christmas updates page tonight. It'll be around 7 o'clock. So it'll be the 8th one. The last one that we did on Sunday was quite seasonable, quite cold. So wintry conditions. We'll have a look and see what CFSV2 9-monthly forecast will be just really showing tonight for Christmas. So just for fun, but come back for that later. Right, let's get on with the video for this afternoon, first of all. And, well, this is Barney just here. I still can't really get used to naming these areas of low pressure. But anyway, that is Barney just there. Midday today on the GFS chart, heading in towards Ireland through the course of this afternoon. That pushes eastwards. So on the southern side of that low pressure that we've got the strongest wind, so it's really across England and Wales, and particularly down in the far south and southwest, so around the coast of Wales, southwest England through the Channel. We could see gusts going up to 80 miles an hour there, but even inland through parts of Wales, the Midlands, say southeast England, we could go up to 50 or 60 miles an hour. That is enough in towns and cities to do a little bit of damage, actually, so do take care if you're off out and about. This evening particularly, going to be some really strong winds around through the course of this evening. And then by midnight, that low pressure is clearing away into the North Sea. Things will start to calm down a little bit then. The north gets the worst of tomorrow's area of low pressure. I don't think it'll be as bad as today's, but even so, we'll bring some more rain and strong winds up to the north of the country. So this is a radar picture from Weather Outlook. This is the rain that's been brought in by Storm Barney. You can see it's particularly wet across southern Scotland, Northern Ireland, come down to northern England. A little bit more showery in nature across England and Wales, but there will be rain coming and going through the afternoon. But it's really the winds that are the main story of this area of low pressure. So this is website xcweather.co.uk, and these are the latest wind gusts just here. You can see across northern eastern parts of the country, not too bad. We've got these blue arrows. It's just sort of average and light winds, if you like. But when they start going red, that's stronger winds beginning to push in. So, for example, at Fairford Royal Air Base in the southwest Midlands, gusts of wind up to 16 miles an hour. Not too bad yet, but going down to Mumbles in the south of Wales, we're up to 45 to 52 miles an hour with those winds. And going into Ireland, and of course this is where the low pressure is coming from, we see some very big arrows appearing. So Kerry Airport up to 60 miles an hour. So generally the strongest winds had so far 60 miles an hour. I think they'll increase more though through the course of a massive gust, of course. I think they'll increase more through the course of this afternoon. So widely 50 60 miles an hour is possible. Into the late afternoon, early evening, some places could go up to 70 or 80 miles an hour around those southern and western facing hills and coasts. If you're worried at all about the weather, I don't issue weather warnings at gazzovids.com, but if you're worried at all about the weather, do check out the severe weather warnings from the UK Met Office website. Just put UK Met Office into Google, or I've got the link to it on the links page actually. You'll be able to go off and have a detailed look at the severe weather warnings that are in force today. Some disruption is certainly possible. Now, I've got a cold snap coming up at the end of the week, as I explained in yesterday's video, so have a look at that in a little bit of detail. So here we go for Thursday, still in generally quite a mild flow. The cold air is to the north of these areas of low pressure, but on Friday, as the low pressures push eastwards, we start to open the door to that northerly wind, and there it comes and start to push down from the Arctic. As we go through into Saturday, which is 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, we are firmly in this northerly wind, and the trolley ice bars back the areas originating somewhere to the north of Scandinavia and into the North Pole. So they're going to be proper cold northerly winds coming down. We haven't had any cold weather at all this November, so this will be a real shock to the system. A short, sharp shock, as I said yesterday, over the weekend. That northerly lasts through Saturday. It will be bringing precipitation with it. Got low pressure in the North Sea, so it's an unstable northerly. Expect the risk of snow. It's particularly likely in the north, of course, always with a northerly wind, where we're exposed to that northerly wind, which is the north and the northeast of the country. That's where we have the greatest risk of snow. But don't be ruling out snow anywhere over this weekend, at least a few snow showers. We will need to get closer to the time before we can really firm up on that snow risk. We move into sunny. That low pressure is off the East Anglian coast, so that could bring, perhaps by Sunday, more of a risk of snow showers in towards East Anglia and southeastern parts of England. A very interesting weekend is on the way. Here's the -5 isotherm covering many parts of the country, showing there could be, or there is the potential, and there could be snow in those northerly winds. It's just where the showers penetrate through to. Of course, some places will miss them. And we go through to the start of next week, and that low pressure clears away to the east, and things begin to back off towards the west and the northwest. So milder air starts to come in from the Atlantic early next week. Probably more areas of low pressure bring rain and fairly strong winds off the Atlantic. Hints of another northerly shot, though, as we go through into the middle part of next week. Not as cold on this chart as the weekend northerly, but nevertheless, winds trying to get back into the north again, and we keep it probably pretty chilly into the second half of next week, with still an ongoing risk of northerly, northeasterly winds. The east area is a little bit more potent with that northerly next week, actually. So having a quick look at that. Here we go for Friday, first of all. That's where the weather frontier, which is the dividing line between the milder air from the southwest and this cold air, of course, pushing down from the north. We go through into Saturday. The low pressure's cleared away. Cold fronts come south, so we're opening the door to that unstable northerly wind. We go through into Sunday, still in that northerly flow. There could be snow showers in the flow, as I say. We're going to have to get close to the time frame to really firm up on that. And then we get through into the start of next week, and it begins to turn a bit milder. The winds go back more towards the west and the northwest early next week. But then midweek, look at this, get another cold shot coming through on Wednesday. This is a more intense and potent colder shot, and the GFS is showing real northerly there on Thursday. Look how far north the isobars is going, almost off the chart into the top of the pole. So that's really cold air coming down in the second half of next week. The GFS is not as dramatic and potent with this northerly next week, but it's keeping an eye on. And then as we go through to day 10, the high pressure begins to topple in. That's within cold air, though, so that will bring us risk of frost. So it looks like we're going to get this northerly shot at the weekend, certainly. Then perhaps a bit milder Monday, Tuesday. Then possibly another northerly shot Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So this could actually be turning into a fairly cool or even cold end to November. I'll keep you posted on that. Finally, having a look at the charts from the Weather Outlook, just not from Weather Outlook, from CFSB2 for the next month. Here we go with the 500 millibar height anomalies. These break down to week periods. The first week period, 2nd to 23rd of November, shows low pressure to the north, high pressure down to the south. This is for the coming week. Flows going like that. Now, this is a transitional period, though. So later on, it does go colder. As we get through to the second week period, this takes us from 24th to the 30th. Then we're in a cold pattern. We've got low pressure in Central Europe. We've got high pressure up to the north, particularly out to the northwest. So the flow with this is going into the north or even the northeast. So that is a cold signal there for the final week of November. And then as we go through to the third week, which is probably the first week of November, low pressure comes back to Iceland and the winds go like that, so it starts to turn milder off the Atlantic again. And then the fourth week up to the middle part of December, this is 8th to the 14th of December, shows low pressure coming back. There's the westerlies returning. The temperatures show that we have a mild anomaly for the south this week, but colder in the north. And this is transitional, so it's getting colder as we go into the second part of that period. Then the final week of November is colder than average. It's been quite a while since had a colder than average week, but that is signalled to be a colder than average week. Then the third week, the first week of December, sees it turning a bit milder. And then we're back to generally quite mild conditions up to the middle part of December. So we do get this colder end to November. The CFS is seeing that, but it wants to turn it milder again through the first part of December. Bear in mind, the CFS has not been going for this cold snap, this cold spell at the end of November. So what happens beyond has to be quite a bit of doubt about it, of course. So it's all getting very interesting. We've got the storm today. Take care if you're off out and about in the south tonight. Could be very windy or later on this afternoon, this evening. Then the cold snap over the weekend. Probably turn a bit milder Monday, Tuesday. Could be another cold plunge show through the second half of next week. We'll keep you posted on that. And if you want more detail about the snow, we'll probably be able to start getting Snow Watch going. I will think tomorrow evening. We'll have a bit of a look at it on Snow Watch tomorrow evening for the weekend, just to see where the chance of snow showers are going to be on Friday and into the weekend. Alright, that's it for now. Come back this evening for the Christmas update. That's all now. Thanks for watching.